Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? It's time for the final countdown. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's rock.
Women were created under God's divine providence from the rib of man. Since the days of creation, we were destined to be God-fearing beings of light, love, and peace. Women are innately benevolent, compassionate, and virtuous. We are strong yet gracious. We are bright yet modest. We are blessed with the authority to share our wisdom with the world while maintaining our majestic, nurturing nature.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, all of you beautiful ladies and gentlemen who are joining us from near and far. Welcome to Womanhood. Tonight, we get to talk to SHODIA YARDE. She shares her story with us, and we can't wait. If you are here with us, let's drop something in the comments. Let us know that you are there, you're watching. Tell us where you're watching from, because we are super excited and we cannot wait so that we can share with you SHODIA's story. So SHODIA is already here and she's ready to go. So I'm going to invite her to come and share. So SHODIA, welcome to the studio. How are you doing?
I am fine, thank you, and I am blessed to be here.
Amen. So tonight we're talking about the Womanhood Life series. So before we get into it, let me just give you guys just a little background where the Womanhood Life series came from, right? So we know this is the month of Mother's Day. We're celebrating mothers. We want to show our love and appreciation for mothers, but not only just mothers, but for women. So womanhood, it talks about, what it really means to be a woman, the things that we have to go through, the different challenges that we face compared to what men may go through. And tonight, the best person, I would say, to kick off this Womanhood Life series is SHODIA, because she's going to tell us her story. And listen, guys, you want to hear it. You want to hear her story and what she has to share. I'm sure you're going to be encouraged. So SHODIA, tell us a little bit before we get into your story. Tell us a little bit about you and who you are and what you do.
So, okay, my name, as KIMISHA would have said, is SHODIA. I am 35 years old. I am a mother of 3. And my profession, basically, I'm a legal assistant by profession. However, that's not my occupation. Right now, I am managing a house in Westmoreland. And I'm a woman of God. And I love church. And I love being a mother. I am going to be very honest, I'm very defensive, especially when I have a point. And that's basically about it.
Wow. That is SHODIA, guys. That is SHODIA. She loves being a mom and she loves church. That was one of the things that definitely stood me. She loves church. So SHODIA, you have an amazing, powerful story to share. I want you to we're going to unpack that story piece by piece, because I know we got to do it in layers because there's a lot to share, right? But let's start from the beginning. And tell us, what does it really mean? When you hear the word womanhood, what does that mean to you?
Being an adult and not a little girl anymore. So I have to put on my, as they say, the big girl pants. But sometimes doing that is a bit difficult.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I would say, but why? Why I couldn't? So womanhood is me maturing and trying to mature to the fullest. Also letting God lead me into womanhood, because doing it on my own was not successful. So now maturing into that is a different level. So womanhood for me is maturing, basically.
Yeah, maturing. I like that. Womanhood is maturing. So, okay. So let's start from the beginning of your story. Tell us how it all started. What was that one thing that you had to go through and learn how to overcome that, that allowed you to become the woman that you are today? What's that one thing?
Okay, so before I even start my story, I would like all those who are online, I want you not to pity the story, but I want you to take lessons from it because I want it to be very impactful that it helps somebody in that they do not take the same step, but they can remember what she said and take it in a different direction. So I remember clearly in 2019, I was going through something and I was crying in the living room and it was like, God, why me? Why me? Like I always helping people, I always give, why me? And I was in tears, literally tears. And that was the first time I actually heard God's voice. And God said to me, you trust in man too much. Follow me and you would see the glory of God. And that time I picked up my phone and I had messaged my cousin and I told her I give my life to God because God just taught me. And I remember the Sunday a church was being held the evening and I did not tell my next door neighbor I was giving my life to God. So we drove to church and as I got by the doorstep, I told her I am giving my life to God because I would have been through so much. And just to give you a little backdrop of what I have been through, my growing up from a baby up to secondary school, I would say, or basically for my first son, I would say was a dream, although I had a child. Because my father, I'm a daddy's girl. I'm going to boldly say that. My father made sure I lacked for nothing. I went to private school. I sat exam. I went to Springer. I went straight up to upper fifth. I did my CXCs. As soon as I left school, I was straight into a government job. I was in the government for 10 years subbing. And although I was subbing, it was still going great and stuff like that. But what had happened was, according to my grandmother, my friend, my grandmother always used to tell me, my friends are the one who gonna do for me. And her words ain't drop. And with that being said, I would have got to the stage where I think I could do this on my own. I don't need their help anymore. And when I had my daughter, which would be my second child in 2008, it was horrible. In the beginning, it was very horrible. I went through it all with my daughter. In the beginning, I suffered. I remember when I was in the apartment with her father, I had nothing to eat. And he lied to me. He would have come in drunk and it was just a lot. I remember time I took sick and I had to go to the hospital and I had to take the bus. And I was like, I have to take the bus. I had to take the bus back home. And it was so much. I called my father crying in tears. And I remember the day my dad came to the apartment. And my father said to me, the first thing I asked him, are you going to treat my daughter the way a man's supposed to? And he said yes. And from then on, my father had nothing to do with him. My father just packed all my clothes and straight over to his house.
Okay, wait.
Then
Hold,
it was going
wait,
on.
hold on a sec. Let me just pause. Let me just pause for a sec right here. So you said you had to take the bus
Yeah.
while you were sick. So you're saying then that he had a vehicle and he refused to use his vehicle to take you to the
No,
doctor?
what had happened? I was friends with next door neighbor, and
Mm-hmm.
because she was very heavy
Mm,
carrying her,
mm-hmm.
and that time I had took really ill to the point she nearly placed me in a coma.
Wow.
And yeah, and I had toxic and there was no money, but he told the next door neighbor, he put his card inside of the machine and it was stuck. Then later to find out that was never so.
Mm. Tricks.
But I had money personally and I had to take money, catch the bus. The ambulance had came for me.
Mhm.
And then when I was coming back home, I had to catch the bus and I was on the last bus, last Lawrence Castle bus at 12 o'clock. Big pregnant.
So why didn't you get the ambulance then? If the ambulance came, and why did you not?
Because I was seeing a private doctor.
Oh.
So once you're seeing a private doctor, truly they told me they're not supposed to come and get me.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to go home. They checked me, they said I needed bed rest, I needed my blood count was low, all those kinds of stuff. I remember I can tell you my blood count. My blood count was 77/96. I would never forget it.
Wow.
Never. And the I remember then when my dad took me to his house one day, was standing up in his bar in the house, and I just felt lightheaded, and I said, "Daddy, I don't feel right." And we called my doctor, and my doctor said, "Take her to the hospital." When I got to the hospital, I was rushed straight up to the ward. I was not even allowed to be myself.
Wow. Wow. Okay. All right. So before you got be okay. Before you got pregnant, for him, was this a decision that you guys had made? That you guys both
No,
wanted to have? So, so walk me
it
through that.
just happened.
Okay, it just happened. But did he
Yes,
want to have the child? When
he
the
said
child,
yes.
he said yes. But then
Yes,
his actions changed later.
correct,
Okay.
correct.
So now you got to the hospital, you went through the process, because I mean you're here today to tell the story, so we know that it came out fine. But how was that experience for you, having to go through such, because I would call it a close to death experience, because we always say, especially the older folks tell us that whenever you're pregnant is one foot, one foot in the
Ain't no
grave,
one for oh
and one
yes.
foot out. So how was that?
Eventually, as I was being taken care of the proper way I was supposed to be taken care of, my doctor visits and stuff, and then I did go into labor, and I had a very quick and safe delivery.
Good.
And yes, and when I had my daughter, it would have been just, I can say me, because me and my mother and my father, it was basically us. Um, my father did not like the fact of him being around me due to the fact what he came to the apartment and saw.
Mm-hmm.
Up to this day, my father remembers that.
Mm-hmm.
So going through that was, I could say it's a trauma. That's something that lives with me.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, I had to let go certain stuff, to be honest. So then her aunt, especially from the father's side, would come and they would pick her up and stuff.
Yeah.
But he was in the army,
Mm-hmm.
and we would have had to go through them to see financial support and stuff like that. That didn't go well, and it had to go to court, the whole long story, and the 9 yards. And he got bitter,
Wow.
very bitter,
Mm-hmm.
and it went left.
Mm-hmm.
So after I had her, I would have started went back out to work in government, and I would have been going through. And I remember my father's family saying, "You have to now, Shodia, no more." And I'll be like, "I know, I ain't want no more."
Mm-hmm.
And then up comes the prophetic child number 3.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, so then I would have had my third child in 2013,
Mm-hmm.
and that was where I hit rock bottom.
Wow. Tell us about that.
When I say hit rock bottom, it's like I lost everything, from job to family to
Mm.
friends, everything. When I first met his father, I thought I had the world. It's a
Mhm.
dream. That's what I thought. And going through the back and forth lies and drama that I would have went through with him, then ended up to find out I was pregnant. Then when I was pregnant, there's something called prenatal depression and postnatal. I had both, not even one, but both. And I remember going through drama with him. I could tell, I would say boastfully. I even like when he do something or I hear that he out with another woman or something like that, I would snap because it would be like, not again. And I put my trust in you. I do so much for you. And look at what at the end of the day. I can even remember to the point where I actually went to town and fought. It was that bad. And I went through so much with him, and I had my daughter with me. And I was placed in the shelter, safe home. And I remember because I spoke to my daughter, the lady there didn't like me. And because I spoke to my daughter, she would have called the child care board. And although the people that were there said that's not true what she said, so I made arrangements for my daughter to stay and I would have left the place. Up comes my mother. Me and my mother was not speaking at the time, and so much lies was told upon me. It was to the point I was dead bitter. When I told you bitter, I mean dead bitter
Wow.
with my mother. I would not speak to my mother. She could be passing the road. She could have dropped down. It wouldn't have bothered me because what she would have said to these people, which were not true.
Mhm.
And I remember my first son's father said, look at your daughter her age. Why would you even go against your own daughter? And then eventually she bring down God. She never said these things. And she would have said that to me after the fact and the point that my daughter's father would have taken me to high court.
Oh wow.
And I remember when I was summoned and I was like, I'm being summoned for court. A legal assistant being summoned for court. Yeah, be happy. And I called the the national prayer warrior for the church, and I told her, and they went on a prayer and a fast for it. And I remember he was fighting for full custody. Mind you, when I was asking him for help while I was going through my depression, he said no. But still yet, you can go to a court and lie.
Wow.
So we prayed about it. I got a lawyer, and I was surprised when my lawyer called me and said we're gonna have like a preliminary case. I was like, oh what? His lawyer wants to meet with us.
Mm.
So when I got in there, they let me through the door. I said nothing. He said, good evening. I didn't open my mouth because I know peace be still. I ain't saying a word. And my lawyer said to me, Shodia, you can speak. And I looked at him and I said to him, only when you tell me to speak. And then when his lawyer opened his mouth and he said, we're not here to fight each other, but we are here to come to agreement. And I'm not fighting for full custody anymore, joint custody. I said, look at God, because you wanted full custody and because you're married and you claim I'm all of this of a bad mother who supported a child up to how many years and you never gave a cent to, and you want to fight me for full custody. But look at God,
Mm.
joint custody. And
Wait,
I said,
you said that he's married?
yes,
So he
he
was
might
so he got married after you guys broke up?
only, I'm not going to tell no lie. I think he would have married in 20, either 16 or 17, he would have married.
Mm.
Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, he would have married because my daughter would have told me.
Mhm.
Because I always kept hearing her talking about this stepmother. I said, girl, you don't got a stepmother kind of dead.
Mm.
What stepmother what? And how he wants to take her to England. And I said, what? Not under my, why you in my last name, I got signed consent papers. It can't happen. And she's saying yes, yes, all of the time, not knowing he cooking up whatever he wants to cook up.
So why
So
did he
go
take you to high court? What was his reason for that?
to get custody because with a man, for a man to get custody for a child, they have to take the woman to high court. It cannot be done in lower court.
Right. Okay, so he wants to have custody because is he was
He
he trying to say that you were an unfit mother? What was his reason?
correct.
Okay.
And then he wanted to take her overseas to live.
Mm,
So I remember that morning, the first time I went to court, his lawyer didn't show up. I had to put back. I said, okay, whatever you gotta do, God. Then the second time we went to court,
mhm.
the judge was there. I was sitting down, and he came in, rushing as usual, and I said not a word. And the judge spoke, his lawyer spoke, my lawyer spoke. They had already agreed on things because of the preliminary that we would have had before. So I remember these words the judge told him. You see Shodia sitting there quiet and not saying a word. If you think that you win, this ain't no winning here because if she ever has to come to the court and tell me that you on the street or you get deported, guarantee it gonna be a different story because you think is a winning thing that you get to carry the child away, but it's not. And I said not a word. Court was finished. I'm not gonna tell you no lie within 10 minutes. 10 minutes because everything was already sorted. She wanted to go away. That's what she wanted as well. That's what her father put in her head because her father had placed her against me. Yeah, because she started to tell a lot of lies and I knew it was not her. And I was just like, let God do what God gotta do. And I remember when I was coming out of court, then they would have said, I would have had visitation or whatnot. And I would have spoken to my dad. And as my dad said, as I told you, I'm a daddy's girl. So anything that happens around me, my father has to know. And as my dad said, when she becomes a young lady, that she can have proper understanding and that she can sit with her, then have that conversation. But for right now, Shodia, let it be. And trust me, I've let it be. She would message me. We would talk like on WhatsApp and WhatsApp, but I do not intervene her space because I want her to, when she comes to that age, that she can come and ask me openly, Mom, what really happened?
Mm,
I don't want to force it on her
mhm,
because she's at that age and then she goes into depression
mhm,
or she has trauma. I don't want that.
mhm.
So I let her breathe basically. When she gets to that age and comes freely and asks me, Mom, what happened? I can sit and tell her what happened.
Right. Okay. Okay. So let's go back a little bit. So now you went through all of these ordeals. You had the situation with your daughter's father, and then another situation with your last son's father. But
Yeah,
you said some stuff earlier. You said that you and your mother never had a good relationship, and
no.
and it was always fractured for some reason on and off, right? But you
Mhm.
said that she had told a lot of lies on you, and because she said she had told those lies on you, it made you just didn't have any interest to her. But my question is, where did that start from? Because I'm thinking based on, yes, I know you told it based on the fact when you got to that point in your life of being pregnant, but did that start from a younger age? Where did that start from?
Truthfully, my mother did not raise me.
Mm,
My father did.
mm,
My father and his mother raised me because my father and mother always said, I was never to lack. Her grandchild was never to lack. So it was weekends. I would go down on weekends. Once I am in the island because I would have been back and forth in New York.
Mhm.
So once I'm in the island, I would go down on weekends. I would spend weekends and stuff like that. But my daddy is the person who really raised me. Him and his family, basically, they're the ones who raised me. They sent me private school, whatever I need, they provided. She didn't have to do anything. So I was more cling to them
Mhm.
because them every day. I get what I want every day. I wouldn't say I would had a gold spoon, but I had a silver spoon. So there ain't no reason for me to go down that story being uncomfortable. Well, I got silver spoon up here. Uh-uh.
Mhm.
So my relationship with my mother started there. Eventually, when I started to get older and I was allowed to go down by my mother more, we then started to get a little bond and stuff like that. Going into secondary school and stuff, I would have started to sleep down by my mother once it was okay with my father's mother. If it was not, I could not go. So, but I would hear her on the phone, and we would have had our little bond. But I was never ever close with my mother. Never. I'm a daddy's girl. Up to this day, at 35 years old, you can go and ask my father anything. Me and my dad could fun. And I call my dad, and my foot hurting. Guarantee you can see flight from Cape Philip.
You know, you said something interesting there just now. You said you are daddy's girl, but did you realize that your daughter is also a daddy's girl too as well? The similar situation is happening with her, where she is
That's
with.
the same thing my dad said. My said the same thing that you went through, Shodia, she is going through. That is why he told me wait till she's that age
Mhm.
for her to come to me. That's why he told me not to push it. He said exactly what you went through is the same thing your daughter is going through. And he said not to push it. So when she's old enough, I would tell her. I would tell her everything.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna hide anything from my daughter. No.
So now that you are older, how is your relationship now at this present time with your mom?
Um, I wouldn't say 100. I would say 70
And
because I had to forgive myself to forgive her,
mhm. Yeah,
and that's something that we have to do in order to be at peace.
yeah.
I have gotten the maturity
Mhm.
to realize, and as being a Christian, we don't fight against flesh and blood, but principality.
Mhm.
So it's a work in progress. Up to 2020, me and my mother was not hot.
Oh wow.
And when I really got deep into God, enough is enough. I see her on the road, I speak to her. She sees me, she speaks to me. Her friends call, I speak to her.
So what was it that you would say that, what was the hurt that you had that caused you not to speak to her for a long time?
Just lying on me. If you lie on me, I cut you off. Do not ever lie on me. Especially know when I'm telling the truth and you have this all your backative because your lies are so drawing and it sounds so tasty, and I have to be defensive and I have to fight for that space
Mhm.
to 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 show my truth.
Mhm.
Mm-mm. I'm gonna cut you off
So did you ever
completely.
find out why she lied on you? What was her what was her intentions lying on you?
I never asked her.
Mhm.
I never asked her what were your intentions out of it. I never did.
So
I
are you
never.
an only child? Are you an only child or are you not?
No, I'm not. I'm the first. I'm the
Mm.
eldest.
So how is your relationship with your siblings?
Um, I wouldn't say we're close. We are not close because it's always, as my father would say, I am painted out as the bad guy because of my mouth. I tell you as it is, and I don't care if you like why tell you.
Mhm.
Once I know my truth, I'm gonna tell you as it is. So because I'm a person, I'm gonna tell you as it is. You get offended, here goes through the wire.
So would you say then that your relationship with your siblings were not the best, mainly because of your relationship with your mother? Do you think that that had a lot to do with it?
Yes, I'm not close to my sister from my mother's side because of my mother.
What did she do to cause that distance between you two?
Too much conflict, too much drama, favoritism.
Hmm.
She will favor her more than me. That kind of,
But why? Why would she do that?
I think it's jealousy. And
Of
not only me
your
said
job?
that.
Hmm.
Yeah, not only me said that. Um, I'm not gonna say names because of legally, but yeah, it was mentioned because jealousy, basically, some sort of jealous. And I don't know what I will always ask, why would my mother be jealous of me?
That's
There's
what
no
matters.
reason. You were me. Why would you be jealous of me?
Hmm.
And when I sit and think those things will make me cry because I was like, I was there for this woman when I was working in government. She gonna get whatever she wants. She will do whatever she wants. Whatever, although we did not have a bondage when I was small, no matter what. But why? Why you don't want to see me do good? Why? But I have accepted the point. That's just her. That's
From all of these interviews that I have done, and even from my own family drama, I know that most times when you find that level of jealousy, sometimes it stems from secrets. Would you say that there were any family secrets that caused that,
yes, there
that
is a secret, and because I found out this secret, it make a whole and I was called a liar. I was called ice maker and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I will always say my dad is my dad. That's not my fault of what happened before I was born, while I was conceived, or whatever. That's your drama. But there was a secret, and up to this day, it's supposed to be still a secret. And because I opened my mouth, because I found out, I'm the worst.
So what is the secret? Can you tell us, or
For legal reasons, I wouldn't. But
that's
there is and supposed to be a
mm-hmm.
secret. And it has caused so much drama in my father's side of the family. They don't even speak to me.
Wow.
Yes, the only person that speaks to me is my Auntie Jane.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell her anything about me because you will get it. And my father has come to the point, as he said, he would never outcast me, no matter what nobody says. But it's come to the point it was drama on my father's side of the family because of that.
Wow. Wow. So did you ever I know you said it's difficult to try to talk to her, but have you ever tried to just have that open conversation, just sit down and try to talk things through, even if you had someone to be the mediator, just so that you guys can, trash it out?
To be honest, I'm not gonna sit and talk to my mom, even if there's a mediator to say trash talk something, because I don't want nothing add on. I don't want anything subtracted. I don't want anything divided nor multiplied. I know what is what, how it is dealt with, whatever. And as I have said, for myself, I had to forgive myself so that I can forgive her, so that I can be at peace. I didn't want that generational curse to leave from me onto my children. I started to see it where it concerns my second child. So I had to break it. It had to be broken. So I broke it. So for me to break it, I had to learn to forgive, learn to trust somewhat. I had to do that for myself so that I can have peace and so I can go forth walking in peace.
Mm. So how does it feel now? Do you say that you've gotten that release that you needed? Do you feel at peace? No?
Yeah, with my mother, yeah. It don't bother me. Once upon a time, it will bother me when she stay here, when she don't stay behind me. It, it don't bother me. She could tell that the stars over my head. God bless my mother. I even pray for her. I pray for her. I pray God heals her. I do. I pray for her.
And what about
Yeah.
your siblings? Are you at peace with them too?
If they call me or they ask me anything, I speak to them. I'm happy. I don't have no malice against none of them, to be very honest. Whatever they do in their life, that's their thing. But I know the reason why they are so. So what he said, I being angry with them,
Hmm.
knowing the root of the problem. So I don't, to be honest, I don't fuss up myself where it concerns them. If you would ask any of my family how Shodia, they would never know. I'm to myself. No, I'm very to myself because I was hurted. Um, it has taught me not to trust anybody. It has taught me how to handle certain situations
Hmm.
and where to draw my line.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So you've been through quite a lot,
Mhm.
especially with family. You know, the things that you said they would have said, they told a lot of lies on you, some of the things that you can't repeat because of legal issues, and then the relationships being strained, but you are at peace with it now. What is that one thing that you would like to encourage any woman who is listening here? You know, or not necessarily, it doesn't even have to be a woman because it could be woman or man, you know, what would you like to encourage them based on your experience and the things that you would have gone through and how you overcame? What would be your encouragement to them?
My first thing I would tell to anyone, do not ever let the devil hold your past as a trump card because you will continue to live in bondage. And I say that to say this even in present relationship because I was not ready to speak my truth or ready to tell my story. It has caused problems. And it's only because the encouragement I would have got is the reason why I'm telling my story. Because tonight I have loosed what the devil thought he has as a trump card. I would also say to self examine yourself, stop carrying around hurt, and take that time to heal. Because when you take that time to heal, you would have standards. And when you get to that place where you have standards, don't ever lower your standards to accommodate anybody, no one. And I will also encourage anybody to forgive. Do not carry that unforgiveness in your heart. Because when you do, you block all your blessings and you really and truly block your purpose. When I let go all of that, I have seen blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings on top of blessings. Although I go through we do face struggles, I'm not going to sit here and lie and tell anybody that I have not seen blessings from God. So those are the things I would encourage. Set your standards, heal, heal completely. If it takes you 2, 3 years, heal completely. Have your standards. Have your standards. One thing I must say, have your standards and don't lord them for anybody. Nobody. And believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, and you shall overcome.
Well said, well said, well said, well said. It is so true that it's important for you to believe in yourself. I like what you said there, Shodia. Believe in yourself, because that's where it really starts, with you believing in yourself. And the only person who's going to get you out is you. And if you don't believe that you can, then you can't. But if you believe that you can't, then you can't. Whatever you believe is going to come, because that's where it starts, with your belief. So it's very, very important. So, okay, so we're coming close to the end. I know you just gave your words of encouragement and stuff. Is there anything that you would say, maybe one thing, anything that you would have regretted, that you felt like you wish you should or could have done better based on your story?
Um, this is not my full story. One thing I have regretted in life, and I'm gonna boldly say it, and as my grandmother used to always tell me, who give me big fat horse thing can help me feed it. And I don't understand the meaning of it. What and I used to get beat. Nobody didn't know that. I used to get lashes for sometimes the company that I kept. Because I could have been, I'm not gonna tell you no lie, I would have been in a much better position if I had listened. And that is the only thing I regretted. And I do regret up to this day. Not listening. But I didn't listen, but it turned into a lesson which I could use. And that is something that I instill in my children now, to listen. I don't want them to have any regrets. Yes, they have to go through what they have to go through, but listen. I know what I'm speaking about because I have experience. I've been there, done that. But that's my only regret. Not listening when I was supposed to listen.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. That is definitely a good one. So, Shodia, what are you working on? I know you're a business owner. You have a few things in the pipeline. What is new for you? What's new on the horizon for you? What are you working on?
So next week Saturday I'm gonna have a conference, which is named Woman Know Your Worth. It's going to be at KPI Ministries. We're gonna have three lovely speakers. One is Kimisha, one is Rosma Gibbs, and the other one is Rhonda Calendar. And it is basically telling you to know your worth. The topics, the first topic I would have given Kimisha is to know your worth, to align yourself. You gotta know your worth so you can get yourself aligned, so you can step into your purpose. The second topic will be self-love brings accomplishment. And then the third one will be aligning yourself to achieve your accomplishment. So that is going to be impactful. I also have some special guests that's going to be there, but via Zoom. And I'm very happy for them. I cannot say who they are publicly, but I'm telling you, working with them, I know through times in those sort of conditions, physically and mentally, it's a lot. It's a lot. So they do need words of they need positivity, words of encouragement around them. So that's the first conference I'm going to hold. I'm thinking about holding one every month, because in today's society, women, we need to lift up one another instead of bringing down each other. Start using things against one another. Start using people's past against one another so that you can feel you're better than somebody. So I want to bring women together rather than to make them distant. And then the big surprise is I am going to release my book July 12th.
And you said on what day? Say that day again.
July 12th, I will be releasing
Big
my
month,
book.
an amazing day. Like, what made you choose that day?
From the pit to purpose.
I love that. Surely that's my birthday, so that's why I'm excited. Like, who told you something about my birthday? Like, that's a big day. Like, yep, that's a blessed day. Like, come on, that's a blessed day. I wish I had the DJ thing now would make them DJs. Like,
How I
like,
choose that day? I didn't choose that day. God
wow,
chose that day.
wow. It's gonna be
God
big.
chose that day.
Even bigger just because it fall on that day. Even bigger, trust me. Even bigger. I'm excited. Even more
Yes,
excited now. Well,
yes.
yes, congratulations. That's big. That's big stuff. Big stuff. Tell us the title again.
From the pit to purpose.
From the pit to purpose. So I am looking forward to read that
And
book.
it's gonna have the full extended story of what you just got piece of. So literally you're gonna hear everything in
Yeah,
full detail.
I love it.
Yes,
I love it. I love it. I love it. Shodia, it has definitely been an amazing time here talking with you and having you to share your story as we talked about womanhood, what that means for you and the things that you would have gone through, the little bit of your story, because there's so much, but that little
yes,
that you were able to share with us tonight to encourage other persons. I see persons are tuning in from all over. I hope that someone was blessed, that they was able to receive something from what you would have shared there with them tonight. But before we go out, there's also something that I would like to share with them too as well. So this is some big news. I've been working on this for quite some time because God had placed it in my heart, and it was, trying to get everything right and trying to get everything perfect. Because when God gives you something, you want to make sure that you steward it, right? You want to make
yes.
sure you do the best that you can. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you all been waiting, I have already sent it out. I know persons are looking and ready to hear what is it that she has to share. So I'm gonna let the screen do the talking.
Yes, under battered bruised, not broken, the Queen's Mindset presents the Ladies Buffet Brunch, an all-white Gatsby affair. The dress code is Gatsby, and it's all happening at the Savannah Beach Club Hotel, located in Hastings, Christchurch, Barbados. It all starts at 11 a.m. and we go all the way through to 4 p.m. on June 25th, 2022.
Yup, you guessed it. It's the first Saturday in summer.
Early bird tickets, they go at $87.50. Online tickets, $50. And regular tickets, they go at $100. Please note that all prices listed are listed in US dollars. And we only have limited early bird tickets available until May 25th. Speakers include Dr. Suzette Husbands, Karina D, Denise Charles, and our featured speaker, Chipo Leandro Queenizi. Our panelists, Shakira Trotman Chase, Kerry Clark, and Patrina St. Hill. And guess what? It's all hosted by the CEO and founder of Queen's Mindset, Miss Kimisha King. The box office for tickets, Mona St. Pierre Boutique, located in Fairchild Street, Bridgetown, Barbados.
Wow. I am excited. I hope that you guys are excited too.
Yes.
I am excited. So it's happening on the 25th of June. You heard it there. We start at 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. sharp. We have amazing speakers. I'm really excited about our featured speaker because she comes all the way from London and she's going to be here so we can see her face to face. So it's not that we're going to have her virtually. We're going to have her face to face so that she can share with us. She's an amazing woman. She's very well accomplished. She's a consultant, so she works a lot with a lot of huge corporations and so on. She's like, I call her the idea strategist. She's that person that if you sit with her, you just tell her a little bit about what you want to do, and she just gives you an idea, and before you know it's a business, right? She's really
Wow.
good at what she does, and she's grounded in God. I love working with Christians, love working with God, God people, because that's where the connect is. We're doing it for the kingdom, to really advance the kingdom of God. So I'm excited. And of course, we have our very own Karina D. You heard it, Karina D. She's a big too as well, a big what do you call it, TV host, and also a radio host as well. You would have known her from Girlfriend Get a Life. That's a big one. Girlfriend Get a Life. You remember when it comes on the radio, you can't turn it off. So
Yes.
Kurt is going to be in the building as well. And then we also have some other amazing speakers who are going to share with us. Like you heard, we're going to have Dr. Sue. And those of you who are from Sanctuary, big up to Dr. Sue. She's amazing. And then we have Patrina St. Hill. We have Shakira Trotman Chase. And we also have Kerry Clark in the building. And of course, Dr. Denise Charles. She is a relationship specialist. Like, You can't get any better than this. Like, it can't get any better than this at all. So I'm going to share this information. Look out for it on our channels all across Queens Mindset, Facebook, Instagram, and it's already on YouTube because we just heard it there. You're going to see it on my WhatsApp, and you're going to hear us all over. Get ready to just say, oh my God, could it shut up? Because we're going to come big. You're going to hear us all over the radio, the TV, everything. Get ready to hear us and get ready to purchase your ticket. So Shodia, thank you so much for sharing tonight. From the heart, it was definitely a pleasure to have you here with us. And to those of you who are watching, stay tuned and remember, join us again next week Wednesday, same time, which is 7 p.m. AST, and we're going to be sharing with another beautiful lady who's going to share with us her definition and what it means when we talk about womanhood. So stay with us and learn more. Keep following our pages so that you'll always be up to date in what's to come next. Have a great night, guys.
Bye.